Hello and welcome to your Improving Sleep webinar. Sleep is a very important topic, so I do hope you pick up some helpful tips to make some improvements here. Please feel free to make any notes or take any screenshots or photos of any of the slides. If you have any questions, you can take these to discuss further with your coach at your next one-to-one. So the aims and objectives of the session today are to understand why we need sleep and how the lack of sleep impacts us, to recognise how much we need, and to learn strategies to help improve sleep. So what does the research say about sleep? So although there's still a lot of research to be done on this, it is believed that sleep allows our bodies and most importantly our brains to recover. In the daytime, our brain cells build and create connections with other parts of our brain as a result of new experiences. While we sleep, it's believed that our brains do maintenance on these new formations, disposing of the unimportant connections and making the important connections even stronger. Sleep is vital for our everyday activities, and humans can actually survive longer without food and water than they can without sleep. Sleep impacts our mood and our energy levels. So I'd like you to briefly think about how you feel when you are sleep deprived. How do you interact with other people? How much energy do you have to do your daily activities or tasks? Sleep is extremely important for us to carry out our daily lives, but also to improve our quality of life as well. So if sleep does not serve an absolutely vital function, then it's the biggest mistake the evolutionary process has ever made. This is a quote by a noted pioneer in the field of sleep research, whose work includes some of the first lab studies of insomnia, narcolepsy, sleep apnea, and napping. Also, he's currently a professor in the Department of Psychiatry and Psychology at the University of Chicago. Humans and animals have been sleeping for many years, and it is absolutely vital to our well-being. Most of us do know how important sleep is, but we're not always as good at sticking to a good sleep hygiene practice. Sleep hygiene refers to your daily habits that contribute towards getting a good night's sleep. So I'd like to ask you this question then. So do you get enough sleep? And by enough, I mean, do you achieve 7 to 9 hours each and every night? If your answer is no, then why do you think this is? What are you struggling with specifically? So some examples might be you could be struggling to get off to sleep when you first go to bed, or maybe you're waking up during the night quite frequently, or you could just be feeling unrefreshed when you wake up in the morning. So there's many things that can cause this, so think about any reasons that apply to you now. So I'm going to pause for a moment so you can write them down. So unfortunately, often the answer to that last question is no. So what does this mean? Well, short term, you may get a drop in attention and productivity. It can lead to increased stress hormone production. It can raise your blood pressure. It can increase rates of absence from work or university or college. And it can lead to increased accidents at work, at home, or even on the road. It can also lead to low mood and reduced motivation to do everyday activities, such as daily activities at home or at work or exercising maybe. So if you are already experiencing low mood and motivation, then not getting a good night's sleep can reinforce this and prevent you from doing other activities the following day. It may also affect how you are around other people. So can you think of a time when you've acted differently around your loved ones due to your levels of sleep? Have you ever cancelled on someone because you were too tired? Have you ever been snappy or shown less enthusiasm? This is very common, and the effects of not getting a good night's sleep can be felt straight away. The long-term consequences of sleep deprivation include increased morbidity and mortality. And this is not only from increased accidents that I mentioned in the previous slide, but also from things like heart or respiratory diseases and stroke. It can lead to increased risk of developing obesity and type 2 diabetes. It can reduce your immune system function and increase the risk of developing long-term mental health conditions such as anxiety and depression. Overall, it has been proven that not sleeping enough consistently can actually shorten your lifespan. Now, there's a close relationship between sleep and mental health. So living with a mental health problem can affect how well you sleep, and poor sleep can have a negative impact on your mental health. So it can turn into a bit of a vicious cycle. If you lack sleep, you become tired, and if you become tired, this makes daily life more difficult to cope with. And then this can lead to low self-esteem, which then increases feelings of worry or stress. And then feeling worried or stressed then impacts your sleep. So you keep going round and round in circles. So the key here is to break that cycle, to help you to feel better day to day and to be able to cope with your daily tasks or plans. So we are going to go through some sleep hygiene techniques later in this webinar to try and help you do this. But one thing I cannot highlight enough is that if you are feeling stressed, then this can have such a significant impact on your sleep. They say that you can't outsleep stress. So if you are feeling stressed, then it's really important to try and tackle that first during the day. So I've survived on 5 hours sleep a night for years. Now, you might have heard this sort of statement before, or maybe you're thinking this right now about yourself. But the question is, are you surviving or are you thriving? So the problem is with long-term sleep deprivation, over months or even years, people can actually get used to feeling this way. So that low-level exhaustion can actually become their accepted normal state. And quite commonly, people fail to recognise how their long-term lack of sleep has come to compromise their mental function and their physical health. And that can include the slow build-up of ill health and chronic disease. This means that millions of people spend years of their life in a less than optimal state of well-being. So you also don't know how sleep deprived you are when you are sleep deprived. So you get used to feeling this way and it does become normal to you. So we're now going to move away from the sort of bleak consequences of a lack of sleep and understand a bit more about what happens when we do sleep. After this, we'll look at what we can do to help improve your sleep quality or maybe your sleep quantity as well. So we used to think that the brain would go into shutdown mode during sleep to allow it to recover from the previous day. But we now know that sleep is a lot more complicated than this, and you're actually in a much more active state than you might think. In fact, while you're sleeping, there's complex changes in brain activity that follow a specific 4-stage cycle. In total, this cycle tends to last for about 90 minutes. So we must experience all 4 stages of the sleep cycle in order to wake up feeling rested, and a good night's sleep consists of 4 or 5 cycles or 7 to 9 hours. So when you sleep that little bit longer, it does allow your brain to go through that extra cycle, and this can be the difference in waking up feeling fresh or tired. So there's 2 basic types of sleep. We've got non-rapid eye movement, non-REM, which has 3 different stages, and then rapid eye movement, REM, which just has 1 stage. So each is linked to specific brainwaves and activity. You move through all stages several times during a typical night, and REM periods towards the morning become increasingly longer and deeper. So stage 1 non-REM sleep is the changeover from wakefulness to sleep. So during this short period of relatively light sleep, which will last several minutes, your heartbeat, breathing and eye movement slow, and your muscles relax with occasional twitches. Your brainwaves begin to slow from their daytime wakefulness patterns. Stage 2, non-REM sleep, is a period of light sleep before you enter your deeper sleep. Your heartbeat and breathing rate slow and your muscles relax even further. Your body temperature drops and eye movement stops. Brainwave activity slows, but you still have brief bursts of electrical activity. You spend more of your repeated sleep cycles in stage 2 sleep than in any of the other sleep stages. If you were to schedule a power nap, you'd want to wake up after this stage of sleep, but we will talk a little bit more about this in a few moments. Stage 3, non-REM sleep, is the period of deep sleep that you need to feel refreshed in the morning. It occurs in longer periods during the first half of the night. Your heartbeat and breathing rate slow to their lowest levels during this sleep. Your muscles are relaxed and it might be quite difficult to wake you up. Brainwaves become even slower, and if you get woken up during this phase of sleep, it is common to feel quite disorientated. And then finally, in stage 4 REM sleep, your eyes move rapidly from side to side behind closed eyelids. Mixed frequency brainwave activity becomes closer to that seen in wakefulness, Your breathing becomes faster and irregular, and your heart rate and blood pressure increases to near waking levels. Most of your dreaming actually occurs in REM sleep, although some can also occur in non-REM sleep. Your arm and leg muscles become temporarily paralysed, which prevents you from acting out your dreams. And this would be an interesting experience, as I'm sure you can imagine. And as you age, you spend less of your sleep time in REM sleep. Storing information and memories most likely requires both non-REM and REM sleep. So these are the 4 stages of sleep, and when these stages get interrupted, particularly the deeper sleep, then this can cause you to wake up during the night or wake up in the morning feeling very tired. So I just want to touch on dreaming now then. So everyone dreams and you spend about 2 hours each night dreaming, but you might not remember most of your dreams. Its exact purpose isn't known, but dreaming may help you to process your emotions. Events from your day often invade your thoughts during sleep, sometimes in very strange ways, and people suffering from stress or anxiety are actually more likely to have frightening dreams. So if this is something that you do experience, try to manage your stress or anxiety throughout the day. You might want to practice something that really brings your breathing rate down, like breathing exercises, for example, or you might want to find an activity that really helps you to relax and feel calmer, because this can help reduce these symptoms. You could also try writing down your thoughts and worries, making a bit of a to-do list to sort of clear your head as well. So when it comes to sleeping, a lot of people ask about taking cat naps or power naps. Now, more than 85% of mammals sleep for short periods throughout the day. Humans are actually part of the minority, meaning that our days are divided into 2 distinct periods, one for sleep and one for wakefulness. It's not clear that this is the natural sleeping pattern for humans, as young children and the elderly do nap more than other population groups, and napping is actually a very important aspect of many cultures. There's a large body of evidence to suggest that the more developed countries, such as those in the UK, are becoming more and more sleep deprived, and it is our busy lifestyle that keeps us from napping. So the key point is, naps don't make up for inadequate or poor quality nighttime sleep, but actually a short nap of 20 to 30 minutes can help to improve your mood, alertness and performance. Just make sure that you don't nap for longer than this though, as it can leave you feeling more groggy and also interfere with your normal sleep routine. Essentially, if you go past stage 2 in the sleep cycle when you nap, then you may feel more tired than before your nap. So creating a good routine of sleep habits before bed helps your body and mind to prepare for sleep by producing lots of the sleep-inducing hormone melatonin. One of the most important things to remember is that your bedtime routine needs to take place outside of your bed and your bedroom. So creating a good sleep hygiene practice is within our control, and being consistent with a routine can lead to us getting a better quality, more restorative sleep on an ongoing basis. It's important to realise that there are certain things that we can't control though as well. So if you do start sleeping better from a consistent routine, but then you have a bad night's sleep, try not to get too frustrated or worried about this. Accepting a one-off bad night's sleep for what it is the first step towards becoming a better sleeper, as you'll feel more relaxed about sleeping. So I'm going to talk about some tips to help you get a good night's sleep now. These are quite well-known tips, so it's not necessarily any groundbreaking information. However, it is really easy to forget about doing little things that really add up and make a difference to how well we sleep. We often only think about falling asleep minutes before we go up to bed, don't we? However, healthy sleepers tend to have a bedtime routine that may even start hours before they actually go to bed. So in the morning, try to keep to a regular sleep-wake schedule. Keeping to regular hours helps the body's sleep system stay in harmony, and it promotes feelings of sleepiness and drowsiness when your body is ready to sleep. Therefore, where possible, wake up at the same time each morning and try to go to bed at the same time each night. Get into natural light as soon as practical in the morning. So natural light, which can still be effective on a cloudy or grey day, helps you reset your internal body clock. It helps you to get over the groggy feeling when you've just woken up, and it can make you feel more alert for your day. So during the day, try to engage in daytime exercise. So exercise helps you to sleep for longer, and it can improve the quality of your sleep as well, making it more deeper and refreshing. Just be careful not to exercise too close to bedtime though, as this can actually stimulate your brain and actually make getting to sleep more difficult. As a general rule of thumb, try to finish exercising at least 2 hours before bed. Someone with sleep difficulties might find that they rely on caffeine to get them through their day. However, caffeine intake does need to be monitored to ensure that it doesn't impact on your sleep. Caffeine is a stimulant that affects the central nervous system, so it can have a negative impact on the body's ability to sleep if it's consumed too close to bedtime or even in just too great quantity during the day. Ensuring that you don't drink or eat caffeinated substances in your bedtime routine and keeping your caffeine intake lower during the day should help your sleep cycle return to a healthier pattern. If you do enjoy coffee, you could make the switch to decaf. Caffeine is not only found in teas and coffees, but it's also in things like energy drinks, fizzy drinks, diet fizzy drinks, and it's even in chocolate. You could try writing down your thoughts and worries. If you clear your head of thoughts and worries during the day, then you'll be less likely to continue to take them to bed with you and have them in your head in the evening. And then you'll feel more relaxed. So in the evening, don't overeat or go to bed hungry or thirsty. Eating at regular times does help strengthen our internal body clock, so that's why it is really, really important to get your 3 meals in a day. However, eating a heavy meal before bedtime can make it more challenging to sleep at night. Drinking lots of liquid before bed can also increase the chances that you'll have to go to the bathroom during the night. So it is generally advised to have your evening meal about 3 hours before getting ready for bed. Now, we all know about this next one, but it is one of the harder ones to get into good habit with, but really do try to cut down your screen time before bedtime. Using electronics before bed, and particularly in the bedroom, can keep us awake for longer. So the blue light from these devices does have the capacity to reduce your melatonin production, which is your sleep hormone, which can prevent you from feeling sleepy. Importantly, it's not just the light that can affect our sleep, but most activities that we use our devices for does require us to use our brains, which might get us thinking about things that can keep us awake and alert, which we don't really want to be doing at bedtime. It is very easy to sit there and scroll through your phone once you get into bed, and I'm guilty of it myself sometimes. But we don't want to associate being in bed with stimulating our brains. So do try to keep your phone out of the bedroom completely, or just away from the bed if you do need to use it as an alarm, for example, to avoid that sort of temptation from going on it before bed or even just during the night. With having your phone nearby, it can be tempting to look at the time if you wake up during the night, but try to avoid this because this can mean that you actually train your brain to wake yourself up at the same time every night, and it can cause further anxiety around sleeping. So this is something that we might not realise affects us as much as it does until we actually try it. You should actually notice a difference after a couple of weeks of consistently doing this, and you should find that you can drift off a lot more quickly. Find a relaxing activity that suits you that doesn't involve a screen, like reading or listening to audiobooks, podcasts, or some relaxing music maybe. A soak in the bath can be a great way to relax during this time as well. Just make sure that the water isn't too hot though, as this can actually stimulate your central nervous system and then make you feel more alert again. You could try stretching like you might do after a workout, or you could try some relaxing yoga poses like child's pose. Yin yoga or restorative yoga is a really good type of yoga to do at this time. And this can really help you to bring down your breathing rate and make you feel more sleepy. Avoid using alcohol to help you sleep. So although alcohol is a sedative, it may help you fall asleep faster. It can have a significant impact on the quality and the quantity of your sleep. Our sleep tends to become fragile and light when we've had alcohol in the evening, and it can lead to lots of awakenings in the later part of the night and feelings of being quite unrefreshed the next day. Try to also avoid caffeine and nicotine at this time of evening as well. So as part of your bedtime routine, you will need to organise and prepare your sleeping environment for when you're eventually ready to go to bed. In preparing for bed, one of the first things we tend to do is go to the bathroom and brush our teeth. In the bathroom, we are more likely to expose ourselves to cool white lighting or bright halogen or LED lights. Now, this type of lighting can make our bodies feel alert again. It can reduce the amount of sleep hormone that's being produced, and this can result in us taking a while to then fall asleep. So you might feel quite sleepy in the early part of the evening, but then as you get ready for bed, you start to feel awake again. So you could try using some dimmer lights or lamps in the evening to prevent this happening. Research has shown that to aid sleep, the ideal temperature of a bedroom should be around 18 degrees Celsius. Warm air rises, so with the hot weather in the summer and the central heating on in the winter, a bedroom can become very warm. However, this doesn't always help with a good night's sleep, and we can be woken from the deeper levels of the sleep cycle if we become too warm. Our body temperature drops in sleep, which does suggest that our bodies prefer a slightly cooler sleeping environment. As part of your bedtime routine, when you put the lamp on and shut the blinds in the bedroom, you may also want to pop a fan on or turn the radiator or thermostat down in that room. Try not to use your bed or bedroom for anything that's going to stimulate your brain. So watching TV, using your phone, laptop, or even doing work from your bedroom. This way, the brain can make the association between going to bed for sleep only. Your mattress and bedding can significantly affect your sleep as well. So the first night in a freshly made bed with clean sheets is something that many people say they love. How firm or soft someone likes their mattress is also a personal preference too. Sometimes our beds may mould to us over time. They can leave lumps and bumps or sprung mattresses, and these can begin to push through and cause us to feel more uncomfortable. Uncomfortable pillows may also impact your sleep. Does your partner snore, or can you hear external noises like the traffic? Is there maybe light from a street lamp or the sunrise shining into your room early in the morning? Some people can be particularly sensitive to noise or light, so when they're trying to get to sleep, earplugs could be an option to consider if noise is impacting your sleep. An eye mask or buying some new blackout blinds could also help with the light. If you've got into a consistent routine with a good sleep hygiene practice and your sleep is still disturbed, it can be useful to keep a bit of a sleep diary for a couple of weeks to see if you can notice any trends in what might be disturbing your sleep. It could be an external factor that is an easy fix. So it might be that some of these tips help you and some don't, but the key is to try them for a few weeks and see if they make a difference. The thing with human beings is that we like to see results straight away, and if we don't, then it is easy to give up trying. It might be that you just need to try one technique at a time, but even if just one technique helps you sleep 5% better, then if you were to try several over a period of time, then this will all add up. If you are regularly having sleep problems or feeling unusually tired during the day, do make sure that you speak to your GP. Most sleep disorders can be treated effectively, so please don't delay. Get the help and support you need, because after all, it is such an important part of our lives. So here are some useful websites for further information about sleep. So I will pause for a second in case you'd like to make a note of these, or feel free to take a screenshot or photo. And here are some NHS recommended sleep apps. Most of them are free to download with some optional in-app purchases available. So if thoughts and worries are affecting your sleep, then you could try the Worry Tree app. It's based on CBT techniques and it can help you to get less caught up in your thoughts and focus on what you can control. However, we wouldn't recommend using this app just before going to sleep, as it does involve looking at a screen. So you could try keeping your notepad and pen beside your bed and use the questions that the app asks you to sort of write down your thoughts and worries and clear your head at night instead. The Pizziz app helps you to quickly calm your mind, fall asleep faster, stay asleep for longer, and wake up feeling more refreshed. It uses Dreamscapes, which is a mix of music, voiceovers, and sound effects, designed using the latest clinical research to help you sleep better at night, or maybe to take a power nap during the day. You can also try apps like Headspace or Calm, which are widely used and can help with relaxation to help you with sleep or to relieve stress as well. Now, to finish off, I'd like to ask you, what can you do today? So what can you take from this webinar to improve your sleeping habits? So have a little think about that question now, and then maybe see if you can write down a bit of a goal so you can start to make some positive changes and achieve a better night's sleep. Okay, so thank you for attending this webinar. I do hope that you've enjoyed it and you've been able to take something from the session to help improve your sleep hygiene practice.